Hello everyone, welcome to ACE Online and welcome to daily current affairs session. So we will discuss the articles that we are going to, briefly we will see what are all the articles that we are going to discuss today. World Press Freedom Index 2024, a very important article, and this comes under polity, right, freedom of speech and expression. Then at a accurate meteorite shower, so this is part of science and technology. So let's see what are meteors and then comets and then how this is also being impacted the earth, right. Then dengue fever, again science and technology as part of diseases. Kavach system of Indian Railways, so this can be part of schemes as well as disaster management, we can say, right. So disaster management, because the accidents can be curtailed. National Anti-Doping Agency, so this is also part of polity, we can say. Statutory bodies, so this got statutory status in 2022. Let's see about this as well, right. And then some factual pointers and finally practice questions, right. I hope you all ready for today's session. Yeah, very good evening Santosh, Malini, Srinath, Sahana and Oindila. So some students have asked, I think it's Santosh, we will be having a environmental convention session in the coming week. I am started trying to compile all those things and we will be recording, and the video will be available in the coming next week, right. So all the international conventions related to the environment will be available in the next coming week, right. So these are all the articles that we are going to cover today. First one, World Press Freedom Index 2024. So this was released by Reporters Without Borders. So this has been available on, this was released on May 3, which is the International Press Day. That's why the report has been published, and these details are very important for our exam point of view, right. So this is the context why we have taken this article. Now before going into the index, let's see about the World Press Day as well. So you all know press is the most what you call core feature of any democratic systems, where you can freely express your views, right, and also it keeps check the government activities, and it is also called as one of the 4 pillars of democracy, right. So World Press Freedom, World Press Day was observed by United Nations on every year on May 3rd, right. On May 3rd we are observing the World Press Day. This is a very important fact to be understood. And why they are declaring this on May 3rd? So this is because we need to promote, we want to promote the freedom of expression among the people across the world. So the objective is to promote the freedom of expression. You should not be constrained by any other things when you are expressing your thoughts, right. So this day was also part when we have adopted the Human Rights Convention, we will see that as well. So because of that Human Rights Convention we have adopted on May 3rd, that's why we are celebrating this day as Press Freedom Day, right. So this is the objective. And as I said, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was also marking the anniversary of Windhoek Declaration. So Windhoek is a place in Namibia in Africa, right. Namibia is a country and Windhoek is a city in Namibia, right. So in that Namibia city, all the people who are related to the press has met together, and in 1991 they have adopted this convention, Windhoek Declaration, to to have a freedom of expression for the press people, right. So they may ask you this also, Windhoek Declaration is for what? So it is for press freedom. On this particular day which this was adopted was also celebrated as a World Press Day. And Article 19, even our Indian Constitution Article 19 is also related to the freedom of expression, right. The same Article 19 was also part of Universal Declaration of Human Rights by United Nations. This was adopted in 1948, right. So press or the expression, freedom of expression is one of the core features of our freedom of expression. That's why we are celebrating this day, to mark bring the awareness among the people, right. Now about the World Press Freedom Index. This is a report compiled by Reporters Without Borders. Reporters Without Borders. So this is a private NGO, right. So this organization every year compiles the related to how freely the press is being working across the countries. So there are 180 countries which they collect the data and they publish the rankings based on the freedom for the press in those countries, right. So this aims to compare the levels of freedom of expression in the press sector across the world, right. And how they will calculate? They have 5 categories. They have, the score is out of 100. So whoever has the highest, they are the most free press, right. So here this 100 score is divided among 5 categories, that is political, that means the political aspect like the constitution, the democracy, all those things, and then legislative, so how the parliament is allowing or having the acts to regulate press and all, and then economic criteria as well, so the monetary related things, and then socio-culture and safety of the journalist. So total 5 categories are there which they calculate score for 100, and whoever gets the highest, those will be ranked top and the least scores will be put at the bottom, right. So this was international organization, as I said it is an NGO and it is headquartered at Paris, France, right. So it is headquartered at Paris city in France, that is also may be asked in the exam. And this year theme, this year they have released on May 3rd, you have to remember the theme also. The theme is a press for the planet, journalism in face of environmental crisis. So on World Press Freedom 2024, the theme was adopted as this one, right, a press for planet journalism in face of environmental crisis. This is a very important thing. Now coming to the rankings of World Press Freedom Index 2024, this is also very important, you have to remember of course. So the rankings, the top countries, the top 10 countries, you don't need to remember the top 10 countries, at least the top 3 countries you have to remember, Norway, Denmark and Sweden. So these are the 3 countries, all the 3 are Scandinavian countries, right, 91, 89, 88. So this top 3 you have to remember of course, and in the top 10 if you see, most of the countries are from Europe. That also, like UPSC, ESC, Engineering Service Examination this year, they have asked one statement about this only, the top, among top 10, 7 are from Europe, right. So you can observe this as well, that among top 10, most of them are, the majority are from Europe. And the last 5 countries, that also you need to remember, the last country is Eritrea with score of 16.64. Eritrea, the African country, this is the least, and then Syria, Afghanistan, North Korea, Iran. So these are the least 5 countries which are giving freedom to the press, right. So this is also important. Now coming back to the India part, how India fared in this report, this is also important. India's score has fallen from 36.62 last year out of 100. This year it was 31.28. So the score has fallen, but the rank has increased from 161 to 159 because other countries are not performing well. Even though our score declined, our rank increased because other countries are not performing well, right. So the rank of India is also important. So that is about the World Press Freedom Index. India rank is 159, Lakshmi Prasanna, okay. So rank is 159, you have to remember that as well, fine. Next one, second one, I hope there is no doubt, it is a factual in nature. Today's articles are mostly of factual in nature, so you have to remember your efforts are needed to be more rather than from my side, right. Next one, ETA acquired Meteor shower. So let's understand first the mechanism, then we will come to this context and all. See, our universe has formed way back 13.6 billion years ago, and our universe is just a single point when it was formed, and it started expanding and now it becomes very huge, which we don't know how big the universe is, right. So we have a Hubble theory and many other theories which are saying that still universe is expanding, fine. But in this, which started as a single point, it started expanding into very huge manner, and not only about our solar system is a very small part, sun is just one single star and there are planets around it including the earth, but there are many other bodies, space bodies, which has formed some 4.6 billion years ago, even much later, and in this out of the space there are a lot of other space objects, out of them whichever are colder material, extremely colder material, right, very icy, they are very icy in nature, those are called as comets, right. So comets are nothing but the space objects which are having extremely low temperatures and they have dust, all this combination which has formed in the universe way back some billion years ago. And sometimes this is small earth, we can take example, they may come near the earth when they are revolving around the other objects. So here they may come near to the earth also. Just keep these things in mind, then we will discuss the article. So comets are those icy objects which may come from anywhere, right? Now these comets, this is earth and we have atmosphere around the earth, right? We have layers, we have discussed this in many of the sessions, that we have troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere, right, exosphere. We have earth atmosphere. If some object from other space, I mean outer space, enters into the earth's atmosphere, that is called as meteor, right? So until they are entering into the earth's atmosphere, those are called comets. Once they enter into the atmosphere, most of the comets cannot be able to cross the mesosphere, because mesosphere is extremely cold at temperatures. So all these things will be blushed, right? So no material can enter, but some may be crossing those and may enter into the troposphere. Those are called as meteors, right? So comets and meteors difference you need to understand, right? So this is about the it is not mesosphere, actually it is ionosphere. Ionosphere is having extreme temperature. These are icy bodies like minus 500 degrees something. So here we have a ionosphere which is extremely hot because of presence of the ions, right? All those things, because of that one of our layer of atmosphere, that is ionosphere, is very warm, and once this reach to the hotter temperatures, so this will be splashed, I mean this will be burst, because these are colder and the temperature here is hot, all this will be melt and become splash, right? But some may cross the ionosphere and enter into the troposphere. So there you may see that these comets may become the meteors, right? So is this clear, the difference between comets and meteors? Now meteor shower is going to happen hugely on May 5th and 6th. So this was named as Eta Aquae meteor shower. So Eta Aquae is a constellation. Constellation means in a space one group of stars, right? One group of stars or other bodies together are called as constellation. So this comet is coming from that particular constellation called as Aquarid. That comet is coming from this constellation called Aquarid. That's why we are calling it as a Aquarid meteor shower, right? So this is about the difference between comets and meteors. Now coming back to the article. So this meteor shower which is going to happen hugely on May 5th and 6th can be seen from Australia and Indonesia. That's what the scientist has told. Now this consists of huge dust particles and all, huge dust as well as the debris, space debris as well. So when it is moving towards the earth surface, so it also captures all these debris and all, right? So that's what the scientists have proved. So we have seen about the comets, right? They are icy objects, especially located on the Kuiper belt. Kuiper belt is a region beyond the Neptune. So we have a solar system, right? So sun, and then we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, right? Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. So this is the region. These are all revolving around the sun. So beyond this region we have a Kuiper belt which is having the icy objects. Those are mainly of comets, right? So from this comet, some comets will move towards the earth surface, earth's atmosphere, right? So approximately now scientists have proved that we have around 3,910 comets, but these are only known. So it may be billions of comets which we don't know, right? So one of this meteor is coming towards the earth. So this is what I have discussed about the meteor and comets as well. So meteor is nothing but a small composition of a comet. So you no need to worry about detailed sizes and all, that is not required. Just remember that Eta Aquarid is a meteor shower. They may ask you this name, and they may ask you what is the difference between meteoroid and comet as well, right? So this is also important. Fine. So few details about this meteoroid, about Eta Aquaid meteoroid. Now here is earth and here is sun, right? We are revolving around the sun, and this comet which is coming from Eta Aquaid which is coming, so this is revolving around some other object. So it is revolving around some other object. It is taking around 76 years to complete this revolution, and it may come near to earth for every 92 years. For every 92 years, it is said that this comet will come near and this meteoroid shower will impact the earth as well, right. So this was first discovered by Edmond Halley, and that's why we are given the comet name as Halley comet. They may ask you this also, Halley comet. This is what approximately 76 years it is taking to rotate, revolve around the sun, and it may come near to earth for every once 92 years. Next time we are going to get it in 2061, right. So this is about the comet. So you no need to worry about too much technicality, these are astronomical thing. Just know that what is comet, what is meteoroid, right, from what actually the composition of comets, right. So what is the recent one, that is Eta Aquarid, that also you need to remember. This is a constellation and the meteoroid is derived from the Halley comet, right. So these are the facts to be remembered. Meteoroids are a composition. See, meteoroid is once it is entering into the atmosphere, meteoroids are the similar to the comets itself, but they are having the constellation of meteoroids, the meteors. It is a group which is having a huge in size. So only difference is a size, that's all. The composition is almost same. Their meteoroids are the much bigger ones, that is a small difference. Fine, yeah. Now let's move to the next article, that is dengue fever. Recently in the Latin America and the what you call Caribbean region, Caribbean means the West Indies, near to the South America, north of South America and east side of the North America, related to the Mexico region. So Caribbean and Latin American countries has reported huge number of dengue cases. 5.9 million cases itself was recorded in the last 4 months in this region. So which is a huge in number, right. So that's why we have taken this article from Indian Express, which is very important. Now let's see the facts about the dengue fever. So this is caused by the virus itself called dengue virus. So shortcut it was called as Dengue, right. So if you see what is Dengue in the exam, so it is nothing but dengue virus, right. Now this is transmitted by this is a vector borne disease, that means it is carried out by insects such as mosquito, and especially the female mosquito called Aedes aegypti. Aedes aegypti mosquito is the main cause for this particular dengue virus. Remember, there are Culex mosquito and few more mosquito categories, but remember this may be asked in the exam, right. Aedes aegypti mosquito causes the dengue as well as chikungunya also. Culex mosquito causes Japanese encephalitis. So when you are covering the diseases, try to remember that mosquito categories also, which are causing certain type of disease, right. So this is a severe form of dengue fever called, if this dengue becomes severe, then this is called as dengue hemorrhagic fever. So the intensity is high and this may also lead to sudden death, right. So drop in platelets, blood platelets, and it may also lead to the death as well, right. So this is caused by virus. Now it is common more in the tropical and subtropical region. So if this is earth and this is equator, this is tropic of Cancer, this is tropic of Capricorn. So these tropical regions are more prone for this disease. So most of the developing and underdeveloping countries are located in this region itself. So this is more intense in the tropical region. So this is also important thing to be remembered, and the symptoms is drop in blood platelets, and then fever, vomitings, diarrhea, all the common things that we face usually are also part of this symptoms, right. And there is no specific treatment as of now. There is no specific treatment at all. It is just that your immune power should be more, you should have a proper diet, nutrition. So only that is the treatment. There is no specific treatment as such till date. And the USA has approved the dengue vaccine called CYD-TDV, but India does not approve. So India does not have any vaccine as of now, but in USA it has approved in 2019, which is also called as Dengvaxia or CVD-TDV. So whatever the names that you see, so these are related to the vaccine for the dengue, right, dengue virus. Now why the dengue cases has been huge in the this Latin America and Caribbean region. The reasons given was the increased temperatures. you might have seen in the tropic, even in Hyderabad, Delhi, major cities in India, there is an increase in temperatures, right. So because of this increased temperatures, the mosquitoes have a favorable condition for their thriving nature, right. So they can thrive in the extreme high temperatures, not above, of course it is not beyond certain level, but anything 35 degrees and above, below 60 degrees they can thrive a lot. So if you switch on AC, most of the mosquitoes will come out of your room, I mean they will go out of your room, because they do not survive in the colder temperatures, they thrive only in the higher temperature. So as as there is an increase in temperatures across the earth, that is why there are more number of cases of this dengue, right. So that is what the report has published. And also we have seen this is the El Nino year, where there is a lack of rainfall and the temperatures are soaring high, right. So these are the reasons why dengue cases has recorded more. Any doubts in this? Next one, Kavach system. Kavach system. Railtel Corporation, so it is a public sector unit, it has signed MOU with some other countries as well to give our Kavach system to other countries. So it is not for free, of course. We are, if we could able to produce more such technology, we can get lot of foreign exchange. So this Railtel Corporation has signed an MOU, memorandum of understanding, with some countries to give our Kavach system. So that's why it is there in news. Now let's see what is Kavach. Kavach is a technology using satellite system, using the satellite technology, it can inform the real time data to share between the two trains traveling in the same path, and this uses the radio communication. In our electromagnetic spectrum, we have a number of waves, we have visible rays, we have microwaves, we have radio waves, we have UV rays, X-rays, gamma rays, there is a lot of things, but radio waves are highly used for our communication, alright. So even the satellite, most of the communication technology we get from satellite is nothing but the radio waves range, right. So this is nothing but it is a satellite technology using radio waves communication, where it can share in a microseconds. If some train is coming, there will be a instrument which can track the other things which are coming in this track, right, using the radio communication. So if there is any train coming in the way, or if there is any discrepancy in these tracks, so this can detect, this satellite technology can detect these things, and then they will give, using the satellite they can pass the information to other train also. And this also has the feature of automatic brake system. So if this any discrepancy in pressure or the what you call these tracks, if it is identified, yes, of course, if the tracks are not very tight and it is loose, so it can understand the pressure and then automatically apply the brakes. So it is nothing but it is a radio wave technology communication which can identify the discrepancy in the track or the trains coming opposite in the direction the same track, and it will give information to the other train also. It can avert the collision, right. So this is the mechanism, right. So you need to know what actually is the mechanism of Kavach system using radio communication technology, and this is developed by Research Design and Standard Organization. So this is also important. This is a body under Indian Railway. So they will ask you in the exam who has developed the Kavach system. So it is developed by RDSO, Research Design and Standard Organization, right. And as I said, it is used or utilizing the radio frequencies range to track the brakes, and it has to track the tracks, and then it also has the automatic brake system, right. So the signals are also connected to the radio wave system. You don't need to go into too much technicality, how the transfer and all, it is a very complex thing, no need to worry. Just remember that using radio waves it can halt the train in a real time manner. It also alert the loco pilot who is the driver of the train, so it also gives information that there is some discrepancy, so try to halt the train, right. So this is about the Kavach system. So you need to understand what it works, who developed it, that's all, right. Very small article. Next article, the last article for today, is National Anti-Doping Agency. National Anti-Doping Agency. So NADA India, that is National Anti-Doping Agency, has completed the Play True campaign. play true campaign. So you might be aware most of the athletics in the sports at the local level as well as national level as well as international level, they might be aware, might be because of intentionally or unintentionally also they consume certain medications which are artificial in nature and it enhances the capacity in the competition, but that is against the true spirit of the game, right? So it should be a natural capacity which will be contributing for your winning, right? So this play true campaign was conducted by the World Anti-Doping Agency. I will tell you about the WADA also. World Anti-Doping Agency at the international level, it has started this campaign and India is also one of the members of WADA. That's why it has completed the play true campaign. So it is part of the sports. Now before knowing National Anti-Doping Agency, let's know about the World Anti-Doping Agency, right? So I will tell you the history a little bit, then we will come to the facts. In 1997, 1996, those years there was a lot of doping cases. It was proved many of the players who were declared as winners, after that it was found that they have misused these medications and all. So those years the world countries has met together and they have established the WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency. They have met in Lausanne in Switzerland. All the countries have met in Lausanne, Switzerland, and they have discussed that the players are misusing those things. So to make aware, to increase the awareness about the anti-doping and all among all the countries, they have adopted Lausanne Declaration. They will ask you this also in the exam, related to what? It is related to anti-doping, right? So they have met together and they have decided that we will have one international body called World Anti-Doping Agency, which will coordinate with all the countries. They will ask when these players has taken the medication, what type of food they are consuming. So all these things will be shared and it is a very transparent in nature that no country will cheat, right? Even Russia was banned by this organization in the last Olympics because they have used the artificial medications. So this was established after this meeting of Lausanne Declaration in 1999, November 10th. So just remember the year. It was established in 1999 to promote awareness about the doping and anti-doping among the players as well as the countries, right? So this is a Swiss private law. This is not an organization under United Nations or something. It was a non-profit organization which was established through Switzerland Private Act, right? Private law, and we also joined. We means here India also joined into the convention, right? Its seat has Lausanne. Seat means whenever they want to discuss those things, right? Whenever they want to discuss related to the anti-doping and all the countries will sit and discuss here. That is Switzerland. But headquarters is in Montreal, Canada. Headquarters means the employees. This seat means like all the countries come together and they sit and they disperse to their own countries after discussing, right? But the staff which are working there to support this, of course, for every convention, every organization we need staff, right? So the staff are working from the headquarters of Montreal in Canada. So this difference has to be remembered. They may ask you in the exam, right, to make you confused. So this is the formation background, and as I said, this has one important feature. Unlike other organizations, like even if you take United Nations, not all the countries has equal say. The P5 countries, right? USA, then China, Russia, France and UK, they are having high say, and other countries have no such significant role. They have veto power. But in case of WADA, all the countries has equal say. If you want to promote the convention, all the countries has to sign, right? So this is the working nature, and the aim is to promote the anti-doping activities. As India became part of this convention, of course India also launched the National Anti-Doping Agencies to support the convention, Lausanne Declaration. India has also launched this in 2005 as a separate autonomous body without any government role, with the registration under Societies Act. So it is a private body was established. There is no legal support earlier. There was no law which has derived its powers, right? But later, recently in 2022, National Anti-Doping Act was passed by the Parliament, giving the statutory status to this particular organization. Statutory means which can derive its power from some particular act of the Parliament. So this was given in 2022, right? And this was kept under the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. This body has been kept under the Ministry of Youth and Sports, right? So this is also important. So this is about the National Anti-Doping Agency, right. So these are the articles that we have today. Not many articles, because as I said earlier, try to focus on static part. Because of the elections, there is no meeting of cabinet. If there is a cabinet meeting, we will have a lot of schemes, lot of initiatives and all. So that's why until June 4th we will not have a lot of articles until unless some events happen beyond the government capacity, right. So that's of today's session of the articles. Now let's see about the factual pointers. Factual pointers, we have discussed this in previous sessions also. Indonesia's Mount Rong volcano has recently erupted. It is still erupting, and there was a news in the newspaper, a big picture was put forward. Still it is being spewing the lava, or you can say mountain volcanoes, all these things, magma is coming out, right. So this is a stratovolcano located in Indonesia, Sulawesi Island. So this is located in Indonesia, Sulawesi Island, Mount Rong volcano, right. So all the volcanoes that has been recently in news last 6 months, try to make a short note of it. So they may ask you in the matching also, right. So there can be a question. So this is about Mount Rong. Next one, archaeologists has recently discovered 7,000-year-old prehistoric settlement. So we have in India Harappan settlement, you might be aware. So starting from 2400 BC till 1600 BC, we have Harappan civilization, right, urban civilization. So certain type of civilization was found in Syria recently, 7,000 years old, and this was discovered at the banks of Tamis river. Very important. Tamis river is in northeast Syria. So they may ask you, recently a 7,000-year-old settlement was discovered from which country or which river. So it is in Tamis river in Syria, right. Next fact, the government of India has joined to celebrate International Sunday on May 3rd. So already we have seen on May 3rd what we are celebrating. It is, we are celebrating, anyone, we have discussed, can anyone recollect? Today itself we have discussed on May 3rd, right. May 3rd we have discussed about the press, World Press Day. If you forget, we have discussed about the World Press Day and a report was also released. So the same day we are celebrating the International Sunday on May 3rd, right, and this aims to promote the benefits of solar energy. So now we are shifting towards the renewable energy, and solar energy is one such important energy, right. Yes, very good. So almost all have answered it as correct. So this solar energy to promote, we are celebrating the International Sunday, right. So that is about the today's session. Now let's practice some questions of the whatever the articles that we have discussed. Let's practice some questions. First one, which of the following statements about World Press Freedom Index is correct? World Press Freedom Index is correct. First statement, it was released by International Federation of Journalists. First statement. Second statement, the ranking is based on two categories, that is legislative and safety of journalists. That is the second statement. The last third statement, in 2024 index, India's score was improved but rank got degraded compared to the last year. So these are the three statements. So what is the answer for this? So first statement, this is not released by International Federation of Journalists, rather it was released by Reporters Without Borders. So we have discussed in the first article itself. The ranking is based on two categories. No, this is also wrong. We have seen total 5 categories. If you could able to recall the first article, we have legislative, economic, political, right. So not 2 categories but 5 categories. Yes, many have answered it as correct. Very good. So 2 statements can be eliminated. Now we are left with 3 only or none of the above. In 2024 index, India's score has improved. No, it hasn't improved. We have seen it is just it has degraded from 36 to 31 point something, right. So it has degraded in the score, but rank was improved from 161 to 159 because other countries did not perform well. So the third statement is also wrong, right. So D, none of the above is the answer. Lakshmi, Ranjan, Malini, Sahana, all of you are correct, right. Next question, with reference to dengue, which of the following statements are correct? So we have a very detailed discussion about dengue. So let's see who will answer this question. It is a viral infection caused by the virus which is transmitted to human through the bites of female mosquitoes. So this is first statement. Yes, correct, you are correct. Score degraded but rank has improved for the previous question. Most people who got dengue won't have symptoms. So symptoms are very rare for those people who are affected by the dengue virus. So this is the second statement. In India, there is no approved vaccine for dengue virus. So this is the third statement. Now tell me the answer. Let's see. First statement, yes, it is a viral infection, correct this part, and then it can transfer to humans through female mosquitoes. So first statement is correct. So B can be eliminated. Most people who got dengue won't have symptoms. Yes, it was proved that 90% of dengue cases are unnoticed. It is, people think that it is just a fever. So this is also correct statement. In India, there is no approved vaccine for dengue fever. Yes, this is also correct. There is no approved vaccine for dengue in India. It is only approved in USA, right? So third statement is also correct. Hence, answer is 1, 2 and 3, right? I don't know, everyone have answered it as wrong. Everyone have answered it as C, but the second statement is also correct. The symptoms are considered as a fever one rather than taking it as a dengue fever. So it was considered as a fever, normal fever, right. Next one, with reference to Kavach system. So I have explained you the mechanism, how it works, of Indian Railways. Consider the following statements. It is indigenously developed automation train protection system. So this is the first statement. Second statement, it is designed to bring a train to halt automatically when it notices another train on the same line with the prescribed distance. Yes, Lakshmi Prasanna, there are symptoms like fever. I explained you about the symptoms of dengue fever, but most of the cases they don't think so it is of dengue fever. They think it is a normal fever, right? So that's why the statement goes correct, right? Symptoms are there, but they don't know that it is part of dengue fever, right? So this is Kavach system, two statements. Yes, it was indigenously developed by RSGO, we have seen. First statement is also correct. Second statement, yes, it automatically brings the train on halt. So second statement is also correct. Yes, all of you are correct in this question. Answer is C, right, very good. Next question, National Anti-Doping Agency. National Anti-Doping Agency is administered under which of the following ministries? We have one more question, that's all. So try to answer these factual questions. National Anti-Doping Agency is administered under which of the following? Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, Ministry of Youth Affairs, Ministry of Education, Prime Minister Office. So what is the answer for this? It is not Prime Minister Office. We have seen some ministry at least that you have to eliminate. Then how education will be related to the anti-doping? So logically you can eliminate some statements. At least two statements can be eliminated if you find out some logic in the option. So these two options are eliminated. Yes, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. So this is the organization or ministry which is responsible for implementing it. Yes, all of you are correct. Very good. Last question for today. Mount Rong volcano, which was recently erupted, is located in Japan, Italy, Indonesia, USA. So very direct question. We have already discussed this in previous sessions. Just a week before itself we have discussed this. So what is the answer? Mount Rong. So it is not USA. So, Indonesia was the one which this is here Sulawesi island, right, Sulawesi island, this was erupted. Yes, correct, all of you are correct, very good. So, this is the answer, Indonesia. So, that is all for today's session. We have a little bit shorter one, so you can revise them properly and make a short note out of it. You will be really beneficial for your exams, right. So, that is all. Have a great evening and happy studies. Thank you.